Hi, this is Yaron from Menlo Coaching, and this is my third of 3 videos with a tip or a bunch of tips about how to tackle the first interview question, which will inevitably, or probably anyways, be tell me about yourself or walk me through your resume. So in a prior video, I said the pitch doesn't matter. It's not entirely true. The pitch does matter, of course, but a little bit less than other things. So how do you get a good pitch, and how do you do so subtly? Because you do want to impress your interviewer in a certain sense, but you don't want to aim to impress your interviewer. That's always a little bit cringy. So the first thing that you want to do is you are, as I said before, building a narrative with a trajectory. And that trajectory is going towards what your short and long-term goals or what the purpose of the interview is, which would be the job or getting into the MBA. So what the interviewer would love to see, of course, is that you're amazing and that you're more amazing than everybody else. So how do you subtly and very delicately build that into your interview? So the first tactic that I want to share with you is the shooting star tactic. Essentially, you want to present yourself as a shooting star, somebody who has an upwards trajectory. How do you do that? The first important thing is that at every plot point, at every job change, at every promotion, you want to show them that you're progressing. So if I see the person is getting better and better and getting promoted and getting a bonus and doing amazing things and larger things and better things and bigger things, then I will start to think that, hey, this person is amazing and I would love to have them as a part of my school or company. So you want to build yourself a shooting star trajectory by showing that progress step by step. And you want to hit really 2 things. So the first thing I mentioned is the plot points. Not only do you want to talk about each change in your career trajectory, you also want to highlight a little bit the reasons behind it. So if you, let's say, transferred from a company to another company, you want to present the second company as better and more interesting and more exciting, and you chose it because of so-and-so reason. Or if you changed industries, maybe it's a matter of passion or opportunity or something like that, and you want to explain that. So you want to explain each plot point, and it doesn't need to be more than a sentence per explanation, so it should take 5-10 seconds. I changed my job because I was really passionate about oil and gas, maybe. I don't know. The second point is that at each position, you want to highlight really one single best achievement, whatever it is. You made the biggest sale, you led a huge project, a big team, you had a big complication, whatever it is, you want to highlight in job X a very specific achievement that you've done. And you want to just have one bullet point, essentially, for each position, which will allow you to build that shooting star trajectory, but through the facts. So essentially, to impress without aiming to impress. The third and final tip that I have for tell me about yourself in tactic is that you want to add a bunch of personal stuff probably at the end. Tell them about your volunteer work, your sports, your hobbies, your passions, anything you like. So I remember one particular interview where I was interviewing for a job, and I'd written on my resume at the very bottom, one of my passions or hobbies was French literature. Now, the job that I was applying for was not for a literature professor, so it had nothing to do with French literature. But it just so happened that my interviewer also loved French literature. And instead of talking about all the job stuff that we were supposed to talk about, we spent 45 minutes of the hour talking about French literature and our favorite authors. And even though I guess my interview didn't really display any job qualifications, I did get the job offer at the end. So, okay, that may not happen to you, but the point is that you want to show that you're a person with hobbies and interests and loves and cares and worries and a family and all that stuff, that you're a human being and not just a work machine, because ultimately people like people. So that's my third of 3 tips. Stay tuned for a few more videos about interviewing. And if you like the video, hit that like button.